Broadcasting from an undisclosed location due to reasons of security and therefore insecurity. Questioning the popular reality. Raising the musical dead and underachievers to godlike status. Poking holes in the fabric of pop music and striking fear in the hearts of Justin Bieber fans all over the world. It's Jaandlu Underground with your host, the one, the only, the indubitable, the instantly ignorable Mr. Andlu.
Hey guys! And we all got in here just in time.
That's how we do it. Only a couple seconds.
Oh yeah.
Are you excited for tonight, Mr. Andlu?
I'm so excited. Dude, I'm so jazzed right now. Because my favorite person, because this is why, the mothership has landed and is ready to take you on an interstellar voyage to the planet Funky Bee. Thank you. Yeah. You think about it. Hear this.
We bring the funk. Open up our Funky Bee trunk. Pull out the funk. Have your share a big old hump. Chewy like greasy leaf gum. Taste the funk. Hey, now this ain't no crumb. This the funk. Old school, no, we ain't no flunk. Rock the funk. Daddy and Stanley is a Tennessee skunk. Rock the funk. We got the spirit, we got the spunk. This ain't no junk. Rock the funk.
What the funk? We're here with the infamous Stevie Hawkins.
Hello, Mr. Andlu.
Hello. We've got another guest in the. Of course, we've got Laura, and myself, Mr. Andlu, and we've got another guest. This is Miles. Miles, introduce yourself.
I'm Miles Grayson from Southern California, and I am so excited to be in Funksville.
You should be. This is Funksville. Dude, there is no funk I like better than Stevie Hawkins. There's nobody like him, and there's also no blues that I like. So I'm gonna mix it up. It's also gonna get into some of his blues stuff and all of that. Well, we're just gonna have a fun night of hanging out with Stevie Hawkins and Miles and talking to Stevie Hawkins. Stevie.
Yes.
So good to see you. I love you, man. It's so good to have you right here in the studio. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, finally got in here.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. Hey, so tell me, what has been going on with you? What's in the music scene? What are you doing? Who are you playing with? Because you're always playing with somebody. And then what's your band doing? So tell us first, start there. Who are you playing with? And then we'll go. I know, I asked him 1,000 questions all at once.
Yeah.
I've got 1,000 questions for us.
Well, right now.
Tell us who you're playing with.
Myself.
Oh! Hey, he's a comedian, too. I knew that.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's the best.
That's right.
Good shit, monkey boy.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I just been kind of took the year off, more or less. Yeah.
Wow.
You did? Okay.
Getting back into some things, cutting some new stuff, and experimenting with various directions. So.
All right. Well, tell us more about that. I want to hear. You got new songs or what? What's the deal?
Yeah. Well, I've got a complete Southern rock blues project in the bag, and
When's that coming out?
I don't know. I'm not feeling it yet. Yeah.
Oh.
You gotta feel the blues.
It's gonna be so good. I just know it.
It's good stuff, but I'm not quite feeling it to put the right vocal on it. You know, I've just backed off of it, and I've been working on some. Miles heard one of the tunes on the way in. It's some big band funk blues hybrid. You know,
Oh, cool.
14-piece horn section.
I love horns.
Yeah,
I
do
love
too.
horns.
I
That's
love
one of the
real-
reasons I love your music.
Real music, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I love horns. It's just it's right there. Always.
Yeah.
I love it.
The energy's fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a good
Yeah.
cut.
You heard?
Oh, yeah. It's very interesting. It's a good concept. It's a combination of a little bit of country, a little bit of blues, a little bit of rock. And Steve's stepping on it.
Yeah, he always does.
Oh, God. It's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Miles, why don't you tell the people a little bit about what you do, also, so that people can get to know you. We can get to know you. I've heard a little bit, but go ahead and tell us what do you do, Miles?
I play golf every day.
That's a beautiful living.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful living.
But
on the pro circuit.
It's boring. The pro circuit is boring.
It's below you. It's below you.
Tiger, he can carry my bag anytime.
Beautiful.
No, I've been fortunate enough to be doing what I'm doing now, music 24/7, just like I came out of high school years ago. I mean, strictly it's music. So I have a little moderate background with a lot of folks. You know, some of the heavies as far as R&B and blues, and some pop. So I'm a writer, keyboard, producer, second engineer, and my main forte, I would say, is just that I have that ear to hear what is going to work.
Right.
In other words, that commercial not the intellectual world.
That's an inside joke. He just bombed me right there. Go ahead.
You know, I like to put a little Thousand Island on my dressing.
Sure.
You know, what have you. And a little bit of steak around there and a little bit of barbecue sauce and what have you. But I guess I hit the nail with the hammer. By that, looking for that one idea that is super, super different.
Right.
You know, not just the norm. That's too easy. But to kind of think stupid and come up with a stupid, interesting hook idea that makes me believe that I can go to Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all my friends. That super challenge of that super, super hit idea.
Yeah.
But I would say, if anything at all, I enjoy challenges. I had a beautiful conversation earlier this evening in regards to a different world, different approach, different concept of music. I listen, and it makes a lot of sense. But it all depends. You come to the bottom line. Is it going to work?
Is it going to sound right?
Is it going to, Is it going to work for the audience?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the audience is basically conditioned to a certain radio format, certain radio lyrics, but everything's based upon one word. Love.
But we had a radio format, okay, and then this crazy guy came along and did this insane thing and sang some songs that nobody could even believe, and it changed all of radio, and that was Elvis Presley. And then a little while later, 4 guys got together. I called them 5, but I believe in that producer. 4 guys got together and did some incredible things and changed the format of music and what people were conditioned to listen to. And we're talking about the Beatles, of course. And when the Beatles came along, they would come out with a song, and it just took whatever everybody else on the radio was doing a little bit further, and then a little bit further, and then a little bit further, and a little bit further. So we're conditioned as the public, as the non-musician, by whatever they will, the head musicians, the most popular musicians, only as far as they are willing to go. So I think that it is a conditioning thing, but I think that happens over time. And when you have a really great band, you know, like Stevie Hawkins or something like that, you know, maybe something really great like U2, who kind of rewrote the way we look at music in a certain respect. You know, rhythmically, The Edge did something that was very different to modern American music, and he outrightly said, I don't like anything that's the blues, and I'm going to do this completely differently, and I'm going to look at the guitar totally differently, and he changed the way that people play rhythm guitar. And now you can hear their influence all over the radio. So what I'm saying is that over time, and I agree that there is a certain amount of conditioning that the audience is used to, but over time, isn't there a point where sometimes the major record labels and whatnot lose touch with that edge?
The only time they lose touch is when the sales start diminishing. All right? If it's not broke, why in the hell are we trying to fix it?
Yeah.
All right? If my deposits that I go and try to either go direct deposit or walk up to the window of the bank, if it's high or low, that makes my decision if I have to make some change or alterations.
Right.
Let's be real. The business is what it is. If I'm selling Toyotas or Hondas or whatever, the numbers, if they're not there, we got to go back and redesign another car.
Yeah.
It's business.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's nothing personal about what we're talking about.
No. I know what you're saying.
Business.
It's business. No, and I think that's the mindset that I'm saying that the record company does have, and that sometimes that they might pass on something that the audience would accept.
Right.
Because
I
of the
agree
fact
with
that they think that that's not audience worthy, but the audience is so wanting that. And the record company misses. And then they go underground, and then it's some undiscovered band, and suddenly they're coming up through the ranks of popular bands without any record label attached to them, like Fish did, okay? And everyone went, okay, this is amazing. Not everyone, but the people that got into it, there was a big enough support where all of a sudden the record companies went, okay, we're interested. And Fish went, we're not. So I think that is also a business mistake in not anticipating that wave well enough. And I think that that's what, especially, and I think that more than the record producers, the radio stations fall into that trap of, we're going to play these, 60 songs or 80 songs, top 100, and that's all we're going to play. What is that? I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it is just this. Go ahead.
Okay, now, back to being business. If my format is top 100, why am I pushing my top 40 or my top 100? Because of radio ratings. The higher your ratings, the larger you can charge your corporate America for ads or radio time. It's still back to what we said, numbers.
Yeah.
If somebody comes into me and says, well, hey, man, I got this group called Fish. Well, okay, Santa Monica or Manhattan Beach, what are you talking about? Okay. But if they say there's results, we've had some sales. I don't care if they got a short fish or the fish are walking or doing
right.
the moonwalk.
But at this point, I understand. But at this point, what I'm saying is that, and the businessman's mistake is that at this point, when they have results, especially with the internet today and with social media, when they have results, maybe that's too late for you to step into the picture. Maybe they're producing it. They've got their own record label. It's working. It's selling it. They're flying off the iTunes. They're flying off the Reverb Nation.
And here's a dumb
Bandcamp.
Here's a dumb thing record companies say. Oh, I missed on that one. Well, they didn't have the patience and the passion to see the big picture.
Right.
Right.
They're in such a hurry to make a decision and basically sign the act. And then after they sign the act, most of them don't really know what to do with the act after they've signed it because the group was doing all the work.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, find me a fish.
I got a great fish for you sitting over here in this corner. This is the big fish. This is the guy you got to sign because this guy does it all. And we're going to go back to you right now, Stevie, because I want to talk to you about what you feel about how, because you're going at this without a record label.
Right.
And you're going at this in very much a different direction than he would suggest. Or maybe, I don't know, would you sign Stevie's band?
Steve and I, we have been in a number of meetings of the mind, but we never really put our cards on the table, or I put my foot down.
Right.
But I've given him a feeling of how I feel about Stevie. Okay. Yes, Stevie is principally a underrated, overdue, soulful artist that's marketable. There's no question about it. But that one magic mother that we're looking for hasn't appeared. When I say the mother, I'm mumbling, but I'm telling you that freak of a concept and an idea that it hasn't hit me yet, where I can say, hey, this is it. And we're still fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going out about this, back to you, Stevie. You're going about this totally independently. Yeah. What methods are you using? How do you feel about the record business, everything?
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I have beat my brains out for 30, 40 years trying to write songs for the market, and right now I'm just writing and performing what I feel, what I like.
Right.
Now, I'm also aware of what Miles is saying. I need to also go on the other side of the fence and what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, you say compromise.
Compromise. That's the word. Yeah, a compromise to where we can find that thing that meets in the middle.
And what's going to make Steve comfortable and happy? I hate for him to have a smash record, and he's going out on these dates and bored to death. He's making $100,000 a night, but he's bored to death because he's singing something he doesn't like.
Right.
And I'm licking my chops, man. Sing it again, man, because...
Well, if I just have to do one song, if it's just that one song, that's fine. I'll funk the rest of it out,
Yeah, I can do one hit over and over again. We got to draw the line somewhere.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what it is to me. It's like the cover song for a TV show, a theme song for something. That's the one song, and then the rest of it you would jam.
Right.
So that's a great way to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But see, unfortunately, radio, television kind of gets in our way as far as how we really feel and want to express ourselves, because we're in between winners that folks have already put in their collection saying this has to be the answer. Now, the record company says, well, why should we go out and try something that basically hasn't proven itself? But here's a good example. Robin Thicke. All right? Smash. I love it. But
I haven't heard it.
You
haven't heard it?
I don't listen to the radio.
Consider yourself.
No, it's funky.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it.
No, I don't particularly like it, but I see how it's attractive to other people.
Exactly.
But
that's exactly.
yeah, no, I see. Yeah, I see its catch. I see it. I see why everybody likes it.
Look, in production, you had all the big boys that have had super successful recordings. They knew where the pocket was, we put between the track and the lyrics. Every lick was.
All right, we got to go to a commercial, but we'll be right back to talk more about it. Right here on
Are you
XSite.
looking to see all the social communities that we're involved in? Visit XSiteRadio.com/XSite Radio, and all of our social profiles are listed there. You can join us, become our friend, become part of the community. XSite Radio. Original, unsigned, uncensored.
When you have that not-so-fresh feeling, reach for the cool, refreshing with Boxoblast, you can rinse away your unwanted smells and bacteria with our patented vibrating insertion nozzle. Just connect to any average garden hose, gas pump, faucet, and you're on your way to a sparkling clean snatch of him. At your local Walgett or Tarmark today. Keep your lady parts fresh and clean.
Katori Magazine has been reborn. New articles, new features for those who demand to stay on top with what you care about. Music, art, politics. KatoriMagazine.com. A different kind of magazine for a different kind of generation.
Katori Magazine.
Get ready, get set, get Slope Cycle. The most innovative way to hit the hill this season is the exciting new Slope Cycle. The Slope Cycle is the most advanced way to conquer the slopes with no restraints, no straps, no restrictions. The Slope Cycle allows you to ride the mountain, and it's perfect to rock some tricks. It's as easy as snowboarding. Visit slopecycle.com for complete information and where to ride the next progression in winter sports. Slope Cycle!
All right, and we're back. And you know what? We're not going to stick around long because right now we're going to play one of my favorite things that Stevie Hawkins has ever put together and played.
Miles and I performed this at the.
Is this both of you?
The main event at the Avalon for the LA
Oh, did you?
Awards, yeah.
This is a tribute to James Brown.
Oh we did the song after it. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. This is a tribute to James Brown. This is one of my favorite pieces that he's put together live. This is off his. Which album is this? Georgia Jam Live.
Jam, yeah.
Yeah, Georgia Jam. I forget. At any rate, a great album if you can pick it up. Do. But this is just a great mix, and we're all just gonna go take a second to walk away and let you listen to Stevie Hawkins.
Yeah! Everybody now, look at here. In Pineville, South Carolina, in 1933, was born a man to have a plan to make music history. The godfather of soul, Mr. Dynamite. Even his Michael Society and all of us here tonight. He knows how to bring it up when you're putting down. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The man named James Brown. Oh, James Brown. Give it up for 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 James Brown. Then give it on up for James Brown. Woo. He's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I wish I would have been there. Yeah. Dude, that must have been just an amazing concert.
No, it was fun, yeah.
Oh, that is great.
Big jam.
Tell us about your influences, Stevie.
Oh, gosh. They cover such a wide gamut. My influences were, James Brown and Rufus Thomas, Bobby Bland. I love the Bobby Bland stuff from the 50s, and he just kept, he was one of the, I think, underrated or didn't get the notoriety that he should have because the man was fabulous. He was just an incredible talent. Had the opportunity to see him in 2000, I believe it was, in Atlanta, and that microphone laid on his chest. He never put it to his mouth.
Really?
It just oozed out of him. It just,
right.
And him and Ray Charles. Ray Charles is my all-time favorite, hands down.
Yeah.
There's nobody. The man, I'll be sitting at the house, and Charlotte and I'll be sitting there, and she'll be on her laptop, and I'm on mine. I'm on YouTube. And pulling up Ray Charles, and inevitably it brings tears. I literally, it moves me so much that it brings tears to my eyes, and sends chills up my back and stuff because the man was just, I can't even explain it.
Yeah, like he played from his soul, and it wasn't about money, because he didn't know. So that's a good inspiration.
It was
cool.
Yeah. And that I heard that a lot around the house when I was a little boy.
Right.
You know, my mother's big band records and stuff. You know, and his early records. But it covers the gamut. Allman Brothers. I mean, it's all over the place.
Yeah,
Chick Corea.
Chick Corea.
That bunch. Billy Cobham. You know, I remember. When he opened up for Yes in Knoxville in 1973, and that was the first time I'd ever heard of him, you know. And we, get to the concert, and there's this like massive set of drums set up, and I was like, man, four bass drums, then a couple more back here, and everywhere you swing, there was something, you know. And so I'm like, gosh, how do you play all that, you know? Well, this guy comes out and whoa! I've never heard I never heard anybody play like that before. That was brand new. And but anyway, as far as drummers go, my all-time favorite drummer was big band drummer would be Louis Bellson. You know, I had the opportunity in 1977 I had actual one-on-one drum lessons from Buddy Rich.
Oh, wow.
In Chicago for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I opened a show for him. I was doing a chart gig with a jazz fusion band from Chicago, and we opened up for Buddy Rich's orchestra and at the the Performing Arts Center in Milwaukee. I was living up in that area at the time from 76 to 1980, I believe it was. And so I had seen Buddy Rich at a high school in Knoxville. You know, I was living in Knoxville and moved up to Wisconsin the year before. And so I had a vantage point back behind him, you know, because, back then, I was like a sponge, wanting to learn as much, absorb as much as I could possibly absorb from everybody. I bug people to death, How you do that, man? But anyway, he'd be playing, and it looked like he was biting his wrist periodically, So after the show in Milwaukee, I asked him about that, and he said, yeah. He said, well, man, I bite the wrist of the hand I make a mistake with, not to do it again.
I'm not surprised because he was just. I mean, was there anybody else that you can think of that was a bigger big band drummer than Buddy Rich?
Louis Bellson.
See, I don't know, who did he play with? I don't even know.
Louis did his own thing.
He had his own band.
Pearl Bailey was his wife, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Pearl Bailey was a big band singer, and
I know Pearl Bailey.
Louis was. At some point, look up a tune off his album. I think it's called Thunderbird. There's a tune called Cottontail. It's faster than that.
Yeah.
And it's about 7 minutes long. And he is so relaxed, and that's my thing, playing with relaxation.
Right.
Because if you're playing tense all the time, you can't get that sensitivity and, those dynamics.
Well, and you can't last as long.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to wear yourself out if you're always playing tense.
Mm-hmm. And that's, as a drummer, that's where, stick control, that was one of the things that Buddy Rich, was working with me with, was the variables on where to grip the sticks. You choke up on the stick, for certain tempos or certain feels to where you can actually, I still do. I use a finger, just play with my fingers a lot.
Wow.
I don't even use my wrist. I just use the finger to,
That's amazing. That's why you're such a good drummer. You got lessons from Buddy Rich. I mean, come on.
Well, I've been fortunate to get some from,
Where did you learn to sing though? Because you've gotten awards. Tell the people how many awards you've gotten for here in LA. You've gotten at least 2, right?
Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 last year for What the Funk. Good Lord. So, but got to keep moving forward.
Oh
you know?
yeah, but still, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, so where did you learn to sing? I mean, who's your biggest
I started.
influence in singing?
I was 6 years old. Yeah, and I had in my bedroom. I had this little record player, and my stepdad at the time was friends with these program directors. One of WNOX was one station, WKGN was another, and so I was getting all these promo copies, and then a lot of the current stuff that was on the radio, and then I had my mother's big band records and stuff like that. Well, what I did is I had a red trash can, rubber trash can, turned it upside down, maybe some little stands with little planks.
Right.
And my tom was oatmeal box, and 10 can lids for cymbals, And I had a coffee pot. Was my snare drum, big, and I'd whittle sticks. I was 6 years old. I did this for
awesome.
And I took coat hangers and unwired them and hung them from the ceiling. Made myself a little microphone out of tinfoil. And I'd sit there and play along and sing with the records.
So
that's so awesome.
Both of you knew, like you just knew music was in your blood from babies, from just kids, from just that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Making your own instruments and just
and
like
what was even funnier is in front of my record player I had me I had cardboard up against the wall that I'd drawn volume knobs on and VU meters, and I played disc jockey too while I was at it. Yeah.
Oh, that is hysterical. Oh, it's too bad you didn't record some of that because that's just awesome. Oh, that is great. That is classic. Now, Miles, I'm going to ask you the same question, only reversed. Who did you influence in music throughout our history? Yeah, because you've been a producer and an engineer in the industry. So, who have you influenced
on the outside that I've influenced?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, War.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good example. They came to me, in the early '60s, and matter of fact, I really didn't remember that I had given them a lot of input and information until they mentioned that on some TV show.
Wow.
So many guys come and go, and I've always been fortunate enough to just say how I feel, and if I can mentor you and give you some kind of direction or information, whatever, it doesn't cost me anything.
Yeah.
Because my philosophy in life is when you give, you receive.
Right.
All right. But influence, gosh, I work with so many people. I don't know about influencing. I was just basically working with them.
Yeah, but you had some sort of influence on
Well,
them.
that's the thing. When you work with a producer, that is an influence.
That is
It's
a huge influence.
You learn so much through a producer that has vision,
Well, the only thing I can say is, even today, if I go into a room or go into a situation, I'm only interested in the results. If I sit down and work with you as an artist of the song, and I work with the board, and I work with the keyboards, if I have to write the arrangement, direct the orchestra, whatever, I'm looking at that home run that we're trying to hit.
All right, so let me simplify the question for you a little bit. What songs have you actually produced, worked on, that have become major hits and have influenced our nation?
I'll just give you the artist. I have a #1 record, and that question was asked 2 weeks ago. And I will not give...
You're too modest.
No, it's not that. The record company did not give me credit on the recording.
Mm-hmm.
And this is way back 62, 63.
Isn't that a classic story?
That's okay, because you did it.
I know you did it.
It's in here. It's yours.
Yeah.
That's
and
yours.
then he took me out to lunch.
Well, you know what we'll do is we'll go to a commercial break real quick here, and then that way you can tell us off the air. All right. So I'll just stick around because there's lots more to come. In fact, they're going to be staying over. I believe you guys are staying over for a late night.
Yeah, you got a sleeping bag. Yeah.
All right, they'll be here all night. All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah, and then walk again. Tragically, thousands of victims of spinal cord injuries are needlessly trapped in a wheelchair. Every day, these victims are told by medical establishments that they will never walk again. Walking with Anthony's mission is to forever change the recovery outcome of spinal cord injury, currently perceived as unchangeable. In addition to educating the public to raise awareness of the impact of spinal cord injury, Walking with Anthony raises funds to expand Project Walk and other rehab centers, support research relating to spinal cord injury rehab, and most importantly, we provide financial assistance to spinal cord injury victims that do not have the funds to pay for this expensive recovery, so many may have the opportunity to get stronger. Donate today and help Walking with Anthony provide access to the therapies that they have miraculously helped many people get stronger, live healthier, and have the opportunity to walk again. To make your donation or to learn more, visit Walking with Anthony.
The Ventana New Media Engine is a combination of technologies and processes that allow strategic delivery of corporate communications. It allows companies to leverage press releases, articles, blogs, audio-video podcasts for content-driven search engine optimization, including Google, Bing, and Yahoo. The Ventana New Media Engine channels include microsites, web feed publishers and news communities, online audio-video and image communities, social bookmarking and syndication sites, social journalism sites, and targeted blogs. This allows real-time placement of submitted content to sites with millions of unique visitors per month to drive URL authority for page 1, 2, or 3 search engine ranking.
Visit us online at ventananewmedia.com.
Ritmo. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
The rhythm. The rhythm. Love it. Let's get back to you, Miles. Besides that one that you told us over the break, who else have you worked with?
Oh, you put me on the spot again. But I've worked with, so many folks. Beach Boys, Canned Heat for a good example.
Oh, Canned Heat.
Oh, I love that gig.
That's great.
That was a good gig. I said to myself, I don't believe this. They're hiring me to show them how to play the blues. It was fun.
I bet.
And they paid me well, too.
Oh, that's great.
You know that record, Going to the Country?
Mm-hmm.
That was mine.
Oh, beautiful.
Then we can go with a lot of R&B acts. ZZ Hill, Johnny Taylor, Ted Taylor, Bobby Bland, B.B. King.
It's worked with B.B. King. What can you say about that? He's the king, right?
Well, he tricked me.
Uh-oh. Tell us a B.B. King story. I want to hear it.
Well, I gave him a recording, and I followed him with a tape recorder to the men's room because as a publisher and a writer, I want BB to hear this tune. And after he finished washing his hands, he says, what are you doing on that particular date, which was about 3 weeks from the day I was talking to him? I said, well, what do you have in mind? He says, we're going in the studio to record your tune. And it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. But like today, BB and a lot of other acts, they do not need a record.
Right.
They're basically working off of the past. Then I can remember the days with Lionel Hampton, and I was trying to get him to do an instrumental. And he says, man, I don't need a record. They don't, because they're booked for whatever.
Yeah. B.B. King plays, 364 days a year or something?
That's the only way he's going to stay alive. is working gigs.
Man, it's amazing.
You know, if a guy doesn't have a gig or someone calling to him talking about music, life is over.
Have you read his autobiography?
No.
Oh, it's so good. Well worth the read. I think it's, what's it called? Now I'll remember later. But at any rate, well worth the read. And he talks about just, he's got to be the hardest working musician in the industry. I mean, the guy just never stops playing gigs. Ever. I mean, it's like, I don't think it's 364 days, but I think it's something like 360 or 358 days a year that he plays.
What else can he do? If he stops working gigs right now, within, say, 90 days, he's gone. You become a vegetable.
Yeah.
If you've been doing that all your life,
yeah.
What else is there to do? Music, it's a passion. It's a love. Right. It's our mistress. It's our bitch.
It is. It is. Yeah. No, and I think that's true. I mean, I get it. You know, my friend and I would discuss Echometry all the time, Alex, and he writes me the other night. I had just gotten done with a whole day of discussing Echometry, and I was going back over my notes and redesigning some pages and all of this stuff. And I'm talking to him about some questions I have, and he's all, okay, here's the answer that you want, but go to bed, dude. You seriously, you need to get some rest in between now and the next thing you got to do. And I'm like, yeah, but my wife is asleep and Echometry is my mistress. Right. Because music is my mistress, and it's just...
Now, the best part of my day is when I finally go to sleep, whereas I don't have to do any thinking.
Or so you think.
Seriously.
So you think.
Oh, I'm a thinker. I'll sit down at the base of a tree for an hour. I've seen the time I'll drive my car to a park and just sit in the automobile and just think.
Right.
I can hear a full production. Just like with Stevie, I hear what I'm hearing. We haven't really sat down, and I haven't put my foot down yet. But
the time
that's what needs to happen.
That is. You just need to get him in there to produce everything you do.
Yeah, I mean, and when I come up with what I feel like is what's going to work, I'm going to kick some ass.
I'm sure you will. I have faith in you.
And the bottom line is the real world. Let's not play games.
Yeah.
You know, let's not say, okay, this is where I think I am, flying like a butterfly. Hell no. Land that bad boy and step on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
Yep.
All right.
It is.
Oh, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, get in the mic, though.
I want to ask you if you could be more specific. For a lot of the listeners, and especially on my show at 11, a lot of the listeners are unsigned artists who don't know any tips on what to do to make themselves more commercial or more appealing to a record label. They have maybe YouTube, maybe Bandcamp. They have their album that they've made, but then how do they promote that, but like how do they grow with their music style and structure? What are the certain things that you look for that would help them?
Honesty.
I kind of put you on the spot too, I guess. But you seem like
honesty.
Yeah.
All right. If your shoes are brown, green, purple, that's what you are. Mm-hmm. If you try to go into a different genre or a different culture because you feel like that's the chemistry that's working, and you know that's not in your heart, leave it alone. Yeah. Because it's going to project what's not there. You have to be yourself because the record companies know when you are trying to fool the public. You have to know how to step on it or not step on it. And if you are an act, make sure that you've got some good material. And beside that, please know how to sing. Yeah. You know, sometimes an artist, you know, they rehearse in a garage and they think they're ready to go out and do one take, and then they listen to it and it's really rough. The instruments are not tuned, and there's not a good sound of the drums and what have you. Take your time. Stop trying to cut a record for $75. Take your time and put together a project that sounds like a master, not a demo. Other words, artists go out and they try and promote their demos, and then they'll try to say, well, dear record producer or record company, if I had had another $1.25, I could have done that. Well, why waste my time? Bring me something when you know it's ready.
Right.
The worst.
Don't bring a demo.
Well, especially
bring a mastered
especially in today's
piece that's ready to sell.
in today's market, because producers and A&R people of yesteryear, as we put it, you could take them a guitar and a piano, or a guitar and a vocal demo, and they'd know that was a hit.
Well, and there's that classic Elvis Costello thing where he walked into the record company, he sat down and waited in the lobby until some guys showed up that he knew were record producers, and he just started playing for them. And they were like, holy cow, who's that? You can't do that anymore.
No, it's exactly like Miles was saying. You have to basically take a master in.
And then sometimes an artist really don't know what they really have. They're writing songs and they're recording. They might record 6 tracks and not know which is the killer.
Oh yeah, that's.
Let's say, for example, the artist comes to me. The first 2 cuts, it's got to be your best. Don't let it be now cut number 5 or 6. I'm not even going there.
Right.
Excuse me.
No, it's true. But I mean, how does the artist himself? Because the artist is too close to it. I think that like when my band, when we first picked out our songs that we were going to put on our first album, like they were such horrid choices compared to everything else in our catalog. But we didn't know that until years later when we re-listened to everything and we had a different perspective.
That's where a producer, you want to get an experienced ear. If it's a new band, try and find some songwriter that has had experience in the business, that knows what is a hook, what is a possibility or potential. And just don't assume that you know the answers. Well, this is the way I'm going to play my song. This is the way I'm going to sing. Well, what the hell? Man, why waste this opportunity? Because this is what you want to sell and share. Give that listener a chance to be inspired. And also, when I'm making records, the first 13 seconds is the most important part of my record.
Yeah.
First 13, kill them. And then they say, oh, something's about to happen. And keep building, keep building. But the first 13 seconds is going to make you or break you. Yeah. But try and find some ideas that are different. Now, I'm going to give you this idea that writers might not be aware of. If you're in a funk mood and you just can't seem to come up with something new and fresh, get the sports page of your newspaper and look at the horses that are running in the races. Look at the titles of the horses.
That's a genius idea. That is a freaking genius idea.
Right. You will see some ideas, some expressions, and bingo, you'll get inspired to write.
You get it. You'll just, because that's so perfect. The racing page.
And then,
I got to go there.
And then if you want to promote your product, really promote, if you really feel like you got a killer, make a deal with a limousine driver that's going around Hollywood and ask him to play this particular tape or CD at the right time when the right individual is in the... I've done it.
Oh.
I've done it. And they're going to ask the question, who is that? Oh, it's just a friend of mine. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to play this.
It is all about having a limousine driver in your band, in like a major music city, Nashville, L.A., New York.
The question was asked: how do they get to the producers, to the record companies, etc., etc.? You just have to stay on your job. The window is always open. Have that CD in your pocket, whatever, because you never know at the right place at the right time. Drop off the CD, leave your telephone number on it, and don't be afraid to walk up and say, look, I'm good.
Yeah.
You got a few minutes of your time. Give me 30 seconds. Here's a CD. And take your chances. But the incredible is so many artists writing, producing. Everyone has a record label. The competition is just ridiculous.
That is, especially with the internet and technology nowadays.
Oh man, during our days, Steve, we used to, probably be 15 record labels. We had a chance. Now there's got to be about 15,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus, it's
And
scary.
each label had maybe a roster of 12 to 15 acts. I think the major labels.
Wow. Yeah.
And they would sign all 12 and hope that 3 will make it.
Right.
That took care of all the bills.
But the difference then was artist development and career interest in their artists that they signed.
Right.
That's why we have classic artists that will be here, to eternity.
Well, I definitely think that one of the things that somebody told me, I can't remember who it was. I think my friend Pizzo, who's an artist, he a rap artist. He said, just go out there and write as many songs as you can. Find the best ones and give them. And then when you've written like 50, 100 songs, more preferably, then pick from that and go to a record label and show them that you have these 2 great songs, but that you also have a backlog, a catalog of 100 songs. And then they're going to take you more seriously because they're going to be, okay, not only is this guy marketable based on these 2 songs, but he probably has several others that would make a hit, and he's obviously writing all the time. So,
and then even though you have presented those 2 or 3 that they feel are killers, also tell the producer or the record company that they are unpublished. And the reason I'm saying that, the publishing is the real estate of the music business.
And we will get back to all of this when we come back for Laura's show. But right now, I got to play this song for my wife because this is one of my favorite songs by Stevie Hawkins. And this is for Elle.
With you hand in hand through this world we've made our own. There's nothing like the feel of your embrace and your passion when you let it flow. There's grace in your dance and magic as I kiss your as I touch your velvet skin, trace your curves with my fingertips. Baby, I can't stand it. I'm overcome with love and desire, and the warmth for you and me, you inspire. how to love me, lady, only you.
Maybe there for you.
Only you know how to reach me, baby, only you. Lady, when our stars align, the connection is so divine.
Thank you for joining us on the Jaandlu Underground. We'll see you next week for more original music from the hidden
underbelly of society.
Stay tuned for the Laura Penn and Happy Fun Time Hour coming up next on
XSite Radio.